Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today? It's Tuesday. You know what day of the week it is and what we do here on Tuesdays. So, good morning. Thanks for joining, Carl. Thank you. Thank you. And yeah, I will have to definitely remember to turn off autoplay. Let me turn that off now. No. Is there an auto? Where's the autoplay? It's Tuesday. That's right. It's Tuesday. It definitely is. No, 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 no. Oops. We're not doing that right now. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. So, it's Tuesday. You know what we do here. I should probably go to the screen right now. And I haven't slept yet today, so or last night I should say. So it could get a little interesting around here. Definitely could get a little interesting. I have a feeling it's going to get a little weird. Carl, JT, I saw Jim was in here earlier. I'm sure he may be gone. You know, I know he works from home and everything like that. So yeah, how's everybody's Tuesday morning going? I added the restream bot so I could I never sleep. That's not true. I sleep during the day. I'm on overnights right now, so you know, I stayed up all night and got the kids ready for school this morning, and I'm never gonna shy away from doing a hot take tuna Tuesday. You know, that's the one thing I'm gonna always try to keep constant. And if it's on Tuesday or Wednesday, doesn't matter. It's happening. It's happening. So yeah, I'm really excited. Also, before we get into all the reacts, I'm gonna kind of break them up a little bit because there's a couple of games. I know. It's not Star Citizen, but there's a couple of new games coming out that I'm pretty excited for, and I wanted to share them with you guys, and maybe you guys might be excited about them too. Um, the first thing I want to talk about is you've for some of you that have been here for a while, you will know that one of my first video game loves I've ever had was Diablo and Diablo 2. More specifically, Diablo 2. Diablo 2 has been an on again, off again 20-year love affair of mine. Carl. It's been an on again, off again love affair with Diablo 2. I can't get enough of it. I love action RPGs or isometric RPGs, whatever you want to call them. I love them. I can't. I love them. Path of Exile is probably the closest I got to an action RPG that wasn't Diablo 2 that I actually liked. Actually, I take that back. There was two. Path of Exiles is one, and then the other one, even though it was like it didn't have the extreme depth that Path of Exile has, and Diablo 2, there was a Marvel game that was an action RPG. It was called like Marvel Omega Heroes or something like that. I want to say it was. It was really good. It was a lot of fun. And what ended up happening with that is Disney bought them out. Hey, Stream Elements finally joined the chat. Hey, how about that? Everybody, a round of applause. Good morning, Stream Elements. How are you? Nice to join us. Appreciate you being here. Disney bought out Marvel, and I think it was about a month, maybe 2 months after the purchase, they completely closed down the studio, completely shut down the game, turned off everything, and it sucked because I really liked that game. I enjoyed it. I played it quite a bit, actually. Obviously, this is pre-stream day, so you know. But I really liked that game, and it was sad to see it go. So one of the first games we're going to take a look at today is a game that is, oh yeah, I got to get rid of the chat on here too. One of the first things that I want to look at today is a game that I hope is good. It's been in development for a while, and I am really hoping it's a good game. So this game that's coming out, it comes out February, is called Last Epoch. We're not going to watch the gameplay, gameplay stuff, just a trailer, get a little taste of it, that sort of thing. I love these kind of games.
Fight. As if you can still save them. But the fate
I'm excited for this game.
Is sealed. I know you've seen it, traveler. You can run from it. You can fight against its grip.
The graphics look pretty cool. I mean, yes, it's just a ARPG, but still.
All the names.
What's up, Ghost?
And oblivion. It is time.
I'm super excited for this game. I am pumped for this game. Like, I hope it's good.
It all leads back to me. To me.
I'll talk about Baldur's Gate in a second. I might pre-order this game and play it on stream because it's pretty cheap. It's only like $30, and I can part with $30 for a new game. That's not that big of a deal. I'm super excited for this game. I hope it's awesome. I love Diablo type games. I know that's a generic term, but Diablo 2, Diablo 3 I did not like. Diablo 4 I played the beta and I knew right away it was not going to be a game I enjoyed. I liked Path of Exiles, like I said, the Marvel game. There's been a few others that I played that were, they were okay, but games like these really, I don't know, I really enjoy them. I hope this one is good. The thing that makes this one a little bit unique, I know other games have done it, but what makes this one a little bit unique is, from what I've gathered from some of the gameplays, is that you will be going back and forth in time as you're playing the game. Like, you're going back and forth in time in their world and on the maps that they have. And then the other thing that, like I said, that makes us unique, but other games have done it, is, in a lot of these games you get like a skill tree. Let's just take a generic sorceress, for example. You get your lightning, your fire, your ice, and then maybe some like buffs to your passive for magic spells, right? Then you put a point into each one that you want, and more points into ones that you like more, right? In this one, you level up a skill, and then it will branch into 3 or 4 different skills, and you can pick and choose out of those. So it like branches off of a skill that you already unlocked. So it looks interesting. Now, Baldur's Gate 3. I'm very interested in playing Baldur's Gate 3, but there's one thing that holds me back from Baldur's Gate 3. It's not the graphics. It's not the stories. It's not the negative reviews that I've read. It has nothing to do with that. My biggest hang up with Baldur's Gate 3 is that it's turn-based, and that's the part that I don't like. Like, the combat, it's whoever has initiative, they go first, and then they go first, and then, or they go next, and then the bad guy goes, and then another part of your party goes, and then the other bad guy goes. And I don't like that. I understand that they're following the Dungeons and Dragons rules. I like the freedom of pushing and clicking and going where I want to go and doing what I want to do, if that makes any sort of sense. But I'm excited about that game. That one's called Last Epoch, and that's why I cheat and kill them all in one turn. That's great. But I'm really excited for this game. I hope it's awesome. Like I said, I might pre-order it just because I've been following the development through as it's been building up to its launch, and I'm excited for it. I really can't wait. I hope it's good, and hopefully I don't waste $30 because that would suck. But I guess I could turn it into a video and be like, "Don't buy this game; it sucks." You know. So let's do some Star Citizen stuff. Let's see. You know, we got 2 raise guides video here. I don't remember watching this. Actually, we got 3 on here. Oof, we got a lot of raise guide on here. You know, we'll start with, we'll do this raise guide video first. We'll do this one. This might be the only raise guide video we actually do today.
Hello, this is Daniel Raymond, the voice.
Okay, thank you, Ray. I usually try not to watch too many content creators like videos in the same day. Like if I find 2 or 3 that are really good and it's all from the same guy, I will probably only do one. And if it's something that I really, really have an interest in, and I think you guys might have an interest in, I might do the second one. He copied Roy's voice. My daughter is playing Baldur's Gate 3. I'll get to it someday. Playing Divinity. It's kind of like playing chess in a way. And that's okay if it's not your... Yeah, I mean, like, look, another one of my favorite game genres is I really love Civilization. Civilization 1, 2, 3, and 4. I was 4 not so much, but 1, 2, and 3 for sure. I was super into all of those. 4 it started to kind of get a little not so much for me, and then 5 definitely wasn't for me. But I also like the Total War series, Shogun, Shogun 2, Rome. Dungeon, what's up, man? I keep forgetting to add you. I'm gonna write that down right now. Dungeon. All right, I gotta add you. Make sure you guys check out Dungeon. He does all kinds of cool tabletop game stuff. Pardon me, BattleTech, Warhammer for sure. I think he said he does Shadowrun as well, and then he does like a bunch of cool war games like Napoleonic era stuff, and then World War II, World War I, and then of course my favorite, the Magic stuff. Definitely the Magic stuff. I love the Magic stuff. I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, Empire. Total War. Love the Total War series. JT, you're the man. You the man. Thank you. I absolutely love shit. This is what you get when you get tired. This is what you get when I'm tired. Total War. That's it. That's it. All the Total War series, I played them all the way up till Empire, Napoleon, Shogun 2, and then there was one after that I played, and then I kind of fell out of it for a while. And I've heard they haven't been very good since then. Oh, it was the Chinese one, the one that's in China. I forget the name of it. I forget the name of that one, but that one was all right. I had some gripes with it, but it was all right. I like that one. But but yeah, I like the turn-based with the real-time strategy. Another one of my favorite top-down games. Oh, Rome 2 is really good. Rome 2 is really good. Another one of my favorite games that's like top-down and strategic and all of that. Company of Heroes 2, and then of course, all your Command and Conquers. Oh man, Command and Conquer was awesome. I love, especially Red Alert and Red Alert 2. Money games right there. Command and Conquer for the win. There comes a pagan. There comes a pagan. Yeah, those were really good. I could go on and on and on and on for days of all the awesome video games that are out there, and I'm sure you guys have a bunch of video games I haven't heard of that you guys played as well. But those, and then flight sims. I really got into, before I move on, I really got into flight sims when I was a kid. What really sparked that, honestly, if you were a kid in the 80s and early 90s, everybody had seen Top Gun, and I wanted to be a pilot. I mean, who didn't want to wear badass aviators, fly a awesome plane, shoot shit down, and have a hot ass babe waiting for you at home? I mean, who didn't want that? So flying sims, I definitely got into those. Like, I think it was like F-15 Strike Eagle was one that I played. Jane's Modern Aircraft or Modern Combat, got into that. Oh, Airwolf was a badass TV show. I have the theme song on my phone for a ringer. It's awesome. Because I was inverted, sir. Yeah, I got super into all that stuff. So back in the day, before computers changed from having the circular, I forget what the name of the connection is called, with the little pins in it, I had a set of really nice Thrustmaster joystick, throttle, pedals, and I spent all my babysitting, all my allowance, birthday money, Christmas money, anything that I got, I threw at that setup, and I was playing flight sims. Loved it. Wish I still had those, but it wouldn't work. It definitely would not work with a modern computer. Anyways, here we are. Ray's guide, and why you may hate Squadron 42. I'm really interested in what he's got to say. I have some idea of what he might say, but let's see what he's really got to say.
Behind Ray's guide. Now, from the start, I will say that I have not seen anything of Squadron 42 other than what CIG has already made public, and a long history of playing Chris Roberts single-player space games. Also, frankly,
And if you're not aware of the Chris Roberts single-player space games, Wing Commander 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think there was possibly a sixth one, maybe. And then he did Freelancer, Privateer, all awesome games. The last one or two of the Wing Commander games was they were pretty bad, but 1, 2, and 3 were really good. Maybe 4 was a good one. I can't remember. It was so long ago. But I was switching off between Wing Commander games and then like X-Wing, TIE Fighter, X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. I think there was another like one of those games that came out soon after, but yeah, I was switching off between all of those. All fantastic games.
I don't expect to hate Squadron 42. I expect to love it.
Tracers.
But if you do wind up hating Squadron 42, it will likely be for one of these reasons. Because not everyone will love every game, and part of the reasons that they don't love it is that they want to love every game. They want it to be the perfect game for themselves. And then, of course, it isn't. Number 1, rigid story.
Hype always... this is why I don't get on hype trains anymore. And actually, a few games a long time ago that I pre-ordered and the game ended up sucking, and you can't really return open games, especially when you're on console. So I got bit, by that real bad when I was younger, and it's something that I don't do often. And even if I do pre-order a game, I try to come at it with zero expectations and zero hype. Rigid story arcs, he says.
Arcs. Squadron 42 will not be a wander anywhere you want, do whatever you want game. So players just thinking that Starfield would have been the perfect game if it just had no loading screens, better writing, a decent piloting experience, and better graphics will be disappointed. In fact, at a Los Angeles bar,
Starfield was a disappointment on so many levels. It's a good game. It's not a great game. It's a typical Bethesda, whatever, however you pronounce it. It's a typical one of their games. It really is. And they're doing the same thing that Star Citizen's doing, where they're using a re-upped 20-year-old game engine. The problem is that they didn't re-up it enough, like Star Citizen has done with CryEngine. Star Citizen looks beautiful. Most of the time, it looks beautiful. Starfield looks like it was a game made in like 2006. All right, it looks bad, and the loading screens. I went back and played Fallout 3 and 4. I just downloaded them, played them for like an hour each, and then played Star Citizen or Starfield. And there seems to be way more loading screens in Starfield than there is in Fallout. Now, the one thing I will say compared to Fallout 3, 4, and Starfield's loading screens, and this is computer dependent, are a lot faster than those older games. So there's that. Now, as far as rigid storylines, I've been saying this for a long time when people talk about Squadron 42. Most of the story is going to be told in what I think is going to be Wing Commander fashion, where you play a mission, then you get a cinematic cutscene. It lasts anywhere between, let's say, 30 seconds, minute to 5 minutes long, maybe even longer, depending on what's going on. And that's where a majority of the story is going to take place, especially since they've hired big name actors. That's probably how it's going to go down.
Citizen. Just after Starfield made its very first public announcement, I had a chance to ask Chris Roberts whether he was concerned about Starfield vis-a-vis Squadron, and he replied that they were entirely different games, particularly because of the linear storyline. Wing Commander 1 pioneered the...
Yeah, Wing Commander... Yeah. I don't remember it being quite like this with how the story moved, but, it's been a long time since I played.
Branching storyline concept. Wing Commander 1 had a fairly broad branching structure. Wing Commander 2, though, simplified it into two channels, a winning path and a losing path, and subsequent Wing Commander games tended to follow the two branches model. I suspect that Squadron will even more follow the Wing Commander 2 model. Why? Because CIG has spent a lot of effort and money into getting motion capture from a bunch of A-list talent.
Yep.
They only have so much of it. They aren't going to want to hide that down some deep branch that nobody's going to see. They're going to want to get as much of it in front of you as possible. Winning or losing, expect to hear the I...
It's Davos Seaworth, the Onion Knight.
Held the line speech.
So in 40 years from now, when you're surrounded
Commissioner
by
Gordon?
everything and everyone you hold dear, and they ask, what did you do in the Battle of Vega? You can look them in the eye and say, I held the line. Men and women of the Second Fleet.
Did you all hold the line? None of you ever took breaks, right? None of you ever took breaks from Star Citizen, right? You all held the line, no matter what happened, right?
I am proud to stand with you today. Good luck.
Your eyes are yellow? You all right, Pagan?
Number 2, limited replayability. If you're expecting a game that you will spend hundreds of hours playing, the linear storyline is going to stay in the way of that. Most folks will do one winning playthrough, a deliberately losing playthrough, and then one speedrun. Then they'll likely go up on a shelf until it's time for nostalgia playthroughs well down the line. This will be a game that will emphasize quality of playtime over quantity of playtime. Ideally, that will be more than enough to feel you've gotten a good value for your money. But if you feel you haven't gotten your money's worth until you're down to the pennies per play hour level, you may be disappointed. Now, some will say that's still okay. We have the Star Citizen persistent.
I think I kind of agree with him. I think this is going to be like a one playthrough type thing, especially if you've played Star Citizen for any length of time. You're going to get this. You're going to be like, this is not really what I wanted / expected, and I'm just going to finish it so I can unlock the ability to buy an F8 or whatever they plan on doing with that.
Universe for that kind of gameplay, which is true, but it also means that 3. Squadron 42 isn't just a single-player version of Star Citizen. If what you will be hoping for is the Star Citizen experience, but just for yourself without having to worry about others disrupting it, then you will be disappointed.
Like Carl.
Squadron is much more structured. If your goal is to load up Squadron and then bust away and go fly to Stanton and do all your Star Citizen stuff, you are going to be disappointed. That's not going to be possible. Number 4, you hate puzzle maps. From the demonstrations at CitizenCon, there appears to be quite a number.
Okay. If you hate puzzle maps, I'm going to say this right now. What we've been shown in Star Citizen, if you can't do these puzzle maps, sorry, dude. Like, these look like they are rudimentary, super simple, easy puzzles to complete. This is not like some of the other puzzle games I've played. You know, I'm once again, I'm having trouble thinking, but like just right off the top of my head, Myst and some of the weird things you had to do in that game to get from one room to another was ridiculous. I don't think it's going to be anything like that. I don't think it'll be anything like that, because they're going to be very rudimentary. And I'm like I said, I'm not trying to insult your intelligence, but if you're having a hard time with these, I don't know what to tell you, man. I really don't.
Of visibility and physics puzzles. Pull the ship out of sight just at the right time, move the crate so the boat will lower,
Adam,
turn the valve, maneuver just right to avoid the death beams, etc. These are standard video game tropes, but for players who just like the run and gun mentality, they can be annoying. This will bring up number 5. You don't like both dogfighting and first-person shooting. Both are good, right? Yes, both are good, but
I also think that, okay, the FPS might be good in this game because most players that are going to get involved in this game have played Riven and Myst, of course. I mean, they're pretty much you can't play one without the other, you know. But I think FPS will be fairly fleshed out, well done, and something that everybody can enjoy, because most everybody that's going to come over is going to be doing from FPS style games. GOG fighting. I think it said dog fighting, but as far as the ship dog fighting, I think the AI and everything is going to be fairly toned down and pretty easy, especially, once again, for those of us that play Star Citizen. If we do PvP or any number of long engagements, even if it's not against players, I think we're going to see kind of the same thing. If you've done it a bunch in Star Citizen, coming here and doing it in this game, I think it's going to be fairly easy.
Just because they are good doesn't mean that both are among your favorite kind of gameplay. In Star Citizen, you can choose to focus on bunkers and other ground combat, or you can focus on combat assistance and bounties, etc. But in Squadron, you won't have that kind of flexibility. Maybe there'll be mission tree branches where you can take the ground missions or the air missions, like you can at the Jump Town event, but I am more suspecting that nearly every mission step will require both, and certainly the whole playthrough will require both. Number 6, you are impatient with exposition. Again, CIG has gone to the trouble of filming a lot of motion capture and a lot of character development and background exposition. The Wing Commander series, right from that opening baton tap, made it clear that the intent was to have you in the middle of an interactive movie. And honestly, Squadron is likely to be the most...
This is another reason why I think that Squadron 42 is not going to be... So I think initially people are going to buy this game that are on the outside because they want to know whether or not the 10-year project was worth it. Because let's face it, most people don't understand that it's Squadron and Star Citizen. They're just going to assume and be like, let's get this Squadron game. This is the thing they've been working on for 10 years. When in reality, they really have only dedicated, what, 2-3 years to this game. I mean, yes, I know they were working on it prior, but you know what I mean. And I think a lot of people that, like I said, that hate on it or on the outside looking in and are curious, they're going to buy it. But as far as like the people that are going to really buy it, really enjoy it, really sing the praises, is going to be the people that are already involved in the Star Citizen community. So I'm not going to say it's going to completely bomb outside of the Star Citizen community, but I don't think it's going to do as well outside of the Star Citizen community.
Most notable for kicking that up a notch, giving you full presence inside the 3D space of the game, being able to choose and move your point of view, which was not possible with the green screen technology of the later Wing Commander opuses. But if you're the sort of player who just wants to skip everything and get to the action, you will either miss much of the intended content of the game, or if they force you to watch it through once because truly key information is embedded, be frustrated. Number 7, it doesn't make you feel 16 again, or whatever is the...
So I think the other thing, too, when he's talking about exposition is I think a lot of us, not all of us, but a lot of people in the modern era are very quick. They want it done. They have short attention spans. They want it, give me the information, get me out of here. I want to keep moving. Go, 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 go. And this is definitely not going to be the type of game for you, especially when it goes into these cinematics. As Ray said, as I said, they paid these actors big time money. They spent a lot of money on the mocap studios, et cetera, et cetera. There's going to be a lot of long drawn out cinematics in between missions.
Number 7, it doesn't make you feel 16 again, or whatever is the age you played your first Wing Commander game, which is likely 16, and the variable being which Wing Commander game it was. Someone wiser than I once commented that we are all just chasing that thrill that we had upon first discovering computer games, and possibly coming close to succeeding, but never actually, which is what keeps us going. Sometimes becoming quite jaded and salty when a game doesn't succeed.
It's like chasing the dragon when they're talking about like drugs and stuff.
And finally, number 8, you expect it to look like $1 billion went into it. I'm sure that a lot of people who have for the last decade been shouting it is a scam will be adopting this as their new chorus. They had $1 billion and this was all they could do? And yes, the fundraising will undoubtedly be well beyond $1 billion when Squadron is released, even at the most optimistic of timetables and pessimistic of funding curves. And no, it will not look like $1 billion went into it, because $1 billion didn't. It went into the persistent universe, as well as a lot of it went into core R&D, some of which, like server meshing, will have no relevance to Squadron 42 at all. And it built a company with facilities around the world. You will not see it on the screen, but that does not make it any less necessary. But honestly,
I mean, I don't know. It's going to look good. Time will tell if it's going to actually play good and it's going to have a good story, but we'll see.
Is this even a relevant discussion at all? After all, you didn't pay $1 billion. You paid a few dollars for Squadron 42 add-on, or will pay about what the price of a AAA game cost. Do you actually care that the budget of a movie you enjoyed was? Do you care if Rockstar Games is financially well managed in creating GTA 6? Sure, there were mistakes made by CIG, blind R&D avenues followed, but do you actually go and audit the quantity of retakes that had to happen on a movie, or how much was spent on footage that wound up, at best, on the bloopers reel? Normally, no. But for those who have been in the mindset, potentially having built reputations around a foundational belief that everything about this project must be a scam, that's how they're going to still be insisting that it still is. Because the hardest thing for anybody to do is to recognize that they were wrong, particularly if they have been insisting that they were right for more than a decade. Now, for an update on our giveaways, we continue to make progress towards our goal of giving away the Zippy Zazzy Saftig Zephyr, the Zeus 2 cargo.
Alrighty. That was Ray. I mean, it's a good conversation. It's something that I've been saying for a long time. Maybe I should do a video about it too. But I truly don't believe that this game will be. It'll be another one of those Starfield things where it's a good game, but it's not a great game. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. As with everything with Star Citizen, we gotta wait and see. We gotta wait and see. We really do. Before I'm gonna do the weekend review that Salty did, but before we do that, I came across this short the other day, and I wanted to share this with you guys. I think this is a really good thing. So, like I said, this is a short. This is a short. This is by Pirate Software. China Gotcha proposed changes. So just listen to this. It's only a minute. I think this is actually a fantastic thing. I really do. I think this is a fantastic thing.
China has actually just announced something really wild. Online games will now be banned from giving players rewards if they log in every day. If they spend on the game the first time, like the top-up bonuses, gone. If they spend several times on the game consecutively, so chain money, they're like, oh, you bought like 5 items, you can get 50% off the next item. That's gone. In addition, games will be stopped from luck-based draw mechanics, like loot boxes to minors. No more gacha for kids. That's good. It is crazy and crazy to see this. So these are all banned now in China. Panic among investors, wiping nearly $80 billion in market value off of China's 2 biggest gaming companies. The moment that they did this, $80 billion wiped off the map, dude. Now, here's the thing that's really interesting. People will be like, oh, that's just going to be in China. They're going to use them everywhere else. I don't know about that. Remember when the EU implemented all of its online laws and then every website does this? I think the rest of the market's going to follow suit. This is a rare China W for me. These are some of the most predatory dog shit business things I've ever seen in games, and it feels weird, but I agree with you, China. Please get rid of this shit.
The universe.
So, yeah.
China is actually just...
That is big news. That is huge news. And I hope he's right. I hope all of this stupid microtransaction gotcha crap goes away. Especially, like, I remember when Call of Duty used to be good. You want to know when it started becoming shit? Not only was the gameplay becoming shit, but you're paying $14.99 for a battle pass for pretty much just cosmetic stuff. And then they have these operator themes. Yeah, I know, Carl. I know. They have these operator themes, and you're paying $8.99 for what? Tim the Tatman and a gold gun? Like, what the, like, seriously? And all of this takes precedence above the actual game. Remember when Call of Duty used to have player skins that look like actual military guys? And now look what you got. You got I thought I saw the other day a commercial for Nicki Minaj. You can play as Nicki Minaj in Call of Duty, or Skeletor. I know I saw him recently. You got Skeletor. You had the cast of the from The Boys, the Amazon show, and the comic book in the game. That's not Call of Duty. That's Fortnite. You're all you Call of Duty fanboys, you're playing Fortnite. You're all playing Fortnite. Congratulations. And enjoy Fortnite. Oh yeah, I'm gonna also like that. Enjoy Fortnite. Glad I don't play Call of Duty masked as Fortnite. You know, the next season, when they introduce the next bundle, you'll have blueprints to build shit out in the field in your on Warzone. Redshift fly faster. And executive guns do more damage. Yep. And redshift fly faster. Yeah. Now, like I said, you know, next patch, next battle pass, you're gonna get blueprints to build towers out in Warzone. Guarantee it. It's gonna happen. You heard it here. Confirmed. It's happening. I gotta figure out how to turn off autoplay. Now, we're kind of gonna get into some stuff that we kind of get into it kind of often here, because we have, all right, I do a lot of a lot of pirating, but I also do some industrial gameplay, and I do bunkers, and I do a little bit of everything, but most of the time I'm doing pirating. But a lot of the people that come here and view the channel, friends of mine, people that I've met online, they're more on the industrial side. And yeah, I see autoplay is on everywhere. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. And they run industrial stuff. And so I like them to be prepared, and I like my gameplay loop, and I like to do what I do. And I think we have to come to a certain middle ground. We can't do away with all PvP, but we can't make everybody in the game a victim. So yeah. And the excuse, and here's the other thing too, the excuse of, well, I worked a 12-hour shift and I only had an hour to play Star Citizen, and you pirated me, and you ruined all my fun. Now I got to go pick up my kids and start my next shift. I'm sorry, dude. That's part of the game, man. You know, it's the same thing like if you play any game that's got any sort of PvP in it. Sorry. So we'll start with, you know what, we'll go pirating, then we'll do, no. I said we were going to do this first. So scrub all of that. We're going to do this one first. Then we'll do a pirating / PvP thing. Then we're going to have Carl talk to us. He's in chat, but he's going to talk to us in video form. And then we'll go back to some more pirating. And of course, we're going to definitely hit this Titan suit. And Voidy. Voidy always makes fantastic stuff. So let's do the weekend review with Salty.
What's up, guys? I'm Salty Mike, and this is your Star Citizen Week in Review for January 29th, 2024. The Siege of Orison patches continued this week, and we finally got to see the replication layer test in action, and it was interesting. But we're already delaying ISC and SCL, all that and more on today's Week in Review.
Oh, I need to make it big.
And as always, if this is your first Week in Review, this is where I take all of the official Star Citizen news each week, put it into one video, and share some of my opinions about it. I also live stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/SaltyMike.
I was watching Salty this morning, and I got to say, there was a really good question that was brought up to him, and I think I'd like to form a more formal discussion about it. And I think it would be a good conversation to have. Not just with people that play the game, but people that maybe bought into it and never played it, or people that sit on the outside and look in and see everything that's going on. I think it would be a really cool conversation to have with more people, and I'd like to set that up for in a couple of weeks. Maybe a month. It just depends on how things work out, because I got a few other things on the back burner. Today I'm going to be checking my schedule and making sure I do not have work on Saturday, and we're going to try to set something up for this Saturday, and I'll let you guys hopefully know by tonight.
Every day now, starting at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And I just want to, as always, say thanks for stopping over, being so cool. It's really been awesome. I appreciate it. But before we get into it, let me share with you today's sponsor. Thank you to Magic Spoon for sponsoring today's video. Growing has 0 grams of sugar, serving flavored. My favorite is Salty Mike at checkout. In their product, it's clicking the link below off your order today. Surprisingly. So let's touch on the patch notes.
All right. You were a director over there.
All right, and we had 5 patches this week on the PTU.
You know what though? I will say this. Look, he is doing this as a profession. This is his full-time job. and him getting sponsorships and ads and things like that. I will say, as annoying as it is to us as the viewer, I do have to say, hey, congratulations, Mike. You're getting sponsors. You're bringing in money, and you haven't had to go back to work since you started this. What, 6 months ago, 7 months ago? Congratulations, man. I'm glad you're doing it. I'm glad if this is your dream, I'm glad you're doing it, man. I am. I'm glad you're doing it. I'm just not going to watch your commercials for a react. I'm sorry, dude.
Live and the test preview channel, but for the most part, they continued the trend from last week. So let's start out with the Monday PTU, and we're starting very slowly with one bug fixed for Siege of Orison and a random bounty.
Mike just said it. Siege is fixed.
Hunting mission bug fixed.
I'm kidding. I'm
Again,
kidding.
these are only mission team fixes, while
I
everyone else
don't at all,
is
JT.
silent. Tuesday's no different, with an audio fix and another spawning issue, just with Siege of Orison. Not even a crash fix. Wednesday, we get to Wednesday, and I was starting to give up. It's been like 2 weeks, and we're working on a patch, but making zero effort on anything other than Siege. This is so different than anything they've ever done in the past. It's super weird. And then Thursday, which is even weirder, they just go live with this. And Siege wasn't even fully fixed for me. I was testing the Wednesday patch Thursday morning, and Siege was broken. Plus a few other updates with it. But
so the night that Siege dropped, last week, I was off, and I had to stay up all night. So mystery. So what ended up happening was we went out and pirated. I was going to join Blackjack, but Blackjack was already way deep into his night. There was like 18 people in his Discord. I don't want to say I don't do well in large groups. It's just, it gets really crazy when you got 18 different people talking and somebody trying to lead it all, and things are just going, ugh. But that's besides the point. I ended up staying up all night. Grumpy signed off. Rakumo signed off. Everybody was asleep. Nobody on my friends list was on anymore. And I was up on the same server all night long on Star Citizen. After the patch dropped, there was about every hour, every 90 minutes, a new Siege would start up. Boom, 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 boom. Like after the one was completed, an hour to 90 minutes, another one would start. Then right around, I'd say 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, my time. And like I said, I was on the same server the whole time. No more Siege of Orison until almost 7 a.m. No more Siege of Orison until almost 7 a.m. And people were coming into the server. Hey, when's Siege starting? When's Siege starting? When's Siege start? It did not start for almost 5 hours. So, and I'm not going to go. The only way I'm going to go, like Ghost is saying right here, if I go, the only way I'm going is I'm going to go there to shoot other players and be a dickhead. So they call me. But that's kind of where that's really where I get my enjoyment out of Siege. I did Siege when it first launched. It's okay. It's not my favorite thing. And generally the AI is broken, and they shoot through the walls, they shoot through the elevators, they shoot through tiered spots in the open areas, like the little grassy knolls. It's crappy. And so if I go again, it's just going to be to shoot other players.
Siege is running, and the first time since it started on this live patch, I was able to finish it. So the fixes are clearly helping, but I still see plenty of complaints and like issues with consistency of it working. So I think people also think the patch was rushed out for a ship sale because the Siege post has a sale at the bottom of it. I don't really know about that. I think the mission team probably was allotted a little bit of a time at the beginning of the year to fix some of the issues with these.
CIG
they really
using an
wanted
event
to push Siege
sell a ship.
in
Say it ain't
previous
so.
patches last year.
Jim,
It's
that's
a mess.
10 demerits.
But yeah. I just think they ran out of time,
Don't
and
be
we're
late
left
again.
with whatever we have.
This is your
As
only
always,
warning,
leave
Jim.
a comment.
This is your
Let
only
me know
warning.
your experience with
Can't
Siege
be late
if
again.
you tried it, though. And then let's talk about a little bit of the
there's
feature
there's
updates.
a
Essentially, they
mission
were
you can take
just
to
the
be
updates from
Nine
last
Tails
week,
Ghost.
like the tougher defense turrets, the nerf of the RT bounties, and
The tougher defense turrets, I haven't hoboed at a station recently, but I might have to give that a shot. I might have to give that a shot. I kind of want to see if they really are tougher. Because before, if I could dodge them, and I'm not that good of a PvP pilot, if I could dodge them and still get kills around the station, then PvPers shouldn't have a problem. But yeah. Yeah.
And the
Carl's
same
saying
TI balance pass. So
it's good.
Just that.
So
also, the
good.
Cambio SRT tool, a couple other things.
Not that I don't believe them. I just want to see it for myself.
Naturally, when a patch goes live, a lot of things get reset, and this patch was no different. With the introduction of those openable cargo containers, people use them to organize their inventories. These boxes vanished on the patch going live, and some of the items went with it. They're supposed to be working, but I wouldn't trust these. Don't use them yet. And then replication layer. This test happened this week. We finally got the test, and why this is so big is it was the first test with crash recovery on, and it worked. They let us know in advance, though, that there is a ton of logging in the servers and recovery will be slow, and it was, but it worked. I think a lot of people are going to be critical of this. We can believe, if you want, you can believe what they say. I don't think many people watching this channel believe what they say. We got to see with our eyes what actually works. It took a while, and it is very different from what we saw at CitizenCon. There are a ton of issues after recovery, of course, as well. I heard people complain that bunker elevators didn't work, but in my experience, they worked fine. But the feedback thread showed there was a lot of issues with them. So people are experiencing issues. I'm sure some of you guys are as well. I was in inventory when I crashed. That broke my inventory completely. Also, if you come back from recovery, you see all of the notifications you normally would when first logging into a server. So the experience really feels like you went to menu, came back, but just in the exact same spot you were, so you don't have to go through like the transit stuff. Everything's pretty fresh. And lastly, I noticed for some reason the armistice zone is really slow to show up after a recovery, which opens players to PvP at landing zones and other locations where combat is.
Carl. We need to get into this. We need to get into this right now, Carl. You saw that, right? You saw and heard what he said.
Armistice zone is really slow to show up after a recovery, which opens players to PvP at landing zones and other locations where combat is disabled. CIG is aware of the issue, and it's already with them, but needless to say, that was crazy to test. Okay, now for my opinion, I'm scared. It seems like a lot of the systems might not be tied to it yet. So
yeah, before he speaks on it, we kind of look. We've all been here long enough. We've all, had our honeymoon phase. We're out of our honeymoon phase, and we know we hold a magnifying glass up to CIG. We know. All right. It's obvious that this is not where they want it at. And they still have more work to do, probably a lot more work to do. So what I'm getting at is you see where this is going. Jared said sometime in a video after IAE that we were going to get server meshing and pyro by summer of this year. I'm just letting you guys all know, I'll believe it when it happens. But I'm telling you right now, this is setting up for not having that done by summer. I'm just letting you guys know. It's probably not going to be here this summer. Maybe end of year, maybe beginning of next year. But it's not happening. I don't foresee it happening.
So they said they want to push this in 322.x, whatever that means. If they do, this might be rough. General playing the game is going to be worse than it was before, but for the right reasons. These are one of those server meshing steps that we just have to take and we might have to deal with. And what I mean by this...
So bend over, take it, and open your wallets.
Is the game seems to perfectly track where we were, what my ship was,
right, Mystery.
and where it was, what was inside the ship, or anything another player may have placed on the ground. But what it doesn't know is what I was doing. My missions are gone, and not just gone, abandoned, which could cause reputation hits with certain missions. Also, Other items that were like on the ground from the bunker that I was at, like weapons or NPC bodies, disappeared. I went from having time to leave the mission before having trespassing happen to fully be trespassing when the server recovered. So naturally, the turrets attacked my ship when I entered it. Also, if what they said is true, recovery should speed up after they remove the logging. This would be a huge step towards what we need it to be, but it will just take some time to get all the features working and all that stuff that they haven't yet. People are definitely going to hate on this update because of the freezing and the amount of time it's taken. But in the end, we won't know anything until we give it some time and see how impactful it was. I thought it was a pretty good test for the first test, but they have to continue on with fixing these things. I want to take a little time, though, to thank everyone who sent me some of the cool clips we showed today. It was
Thanks, Pagan. I got that.
basically
Thank
impossible to cover all the bases of the test because you have to wait for a crash to happen. So thank you again for all the help, guys. W's in the comments for these guys. This was really awesome. So with that, let's move on to other updates. That was a crazy test.
I agree with everything that he's saying. Like, look, I'm not trying to lick Christ Robert's ass here. The replication layer is very important. It needs to be done so we can have server meshing. So then we can move on to other core features of the game. God, I sound like a CIG salesman right now, part of their marketing department. But I do want this to work. I don't want this to fail. I don't want Pyro to not. I want Pyro to come out this summer. I want server meshing to come out this summer. But just judging on the stuff that's going on, they have a lot more work to do. And it's gonna take a while. So if they blow that whole let's do that this summer thing, just be prepared. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
And a crazy week in terms of patch notes. And we, as always, start out with a sneak peek, and continuing with the wonderful sneak peek trends of 2023. They are sneak peeking things that we've seen plenty of already. This is the cargo loader we saw at the raid demo at CitizenCon. The caption
Thanks,
though
JT.
reads,
Appreciate it.
ready to transport. So you got to think it's more about maybe the